You know what I resubscribed to a few weeks ago? Blue Apron. If I'm lying, I'm dying. You've all been so great at supporting Cooking with Greggy, but I'm no master chef. I don't know how to cook a lot of stuff. That's why I love Blue Apron. Jen and I get easy meals we can whip up on a whim, and I get to learn how to make couscous or fish or something else I've never heard of. You sign up, pick your menu, and they deliver pre-portioned ingredients with step-by-step instructions. You just follow along, make the meal, learn something, have a good time. They've even included this handy little flow chart the last time I did it. It teaches me how to make sauce from the fond. It's got wines on there. It's like a flow chart. Like I said that. It's cool. I'm going to laminate it. Again, this isn't something they wrote for me. I'm literally telling you things that are happening on my couch. If you know a good laminator, hit me up. Check out this week's menu and get $30 off your first meal with free shipping by going to blueapron.com/Greggy. You will love how good it feels and tastes to create incredible home-cooked meals with Blue Apron, so don't wait. That's blueapron.com/Greggy. Blue Apron, a better way to cook. I used it at home. Seriously, in the comments below, tell me where to get something laminated.
Elyse, what is your topic?
My topick?
You have to read the whole spiel, the Margot Robbie thing.
Oh, this topic.
That's your topic.
Wayne Brady. He's still doing
it.
it. He's been doing it since 2009.
Shout out to Wayne Brady, man.
You're still talking about it.
Margot Robbie recently revealed.
Oh, I'm sorry. I do apologize. I apologize.
That's okay.
That's the last topic. Your first topic is fan theories.
Oh, fan theories, yeah.
Right.
I'm a big advocate and lover of fan theories, whether they are debunked, proven true, good, bad, atrocious.
Can we help you, Kev? Is everything okay?
Just keep going. Sorry.
Sorry, that's our
this
show.
Not professional at all. Kevin just does things.
Elyse is so scared.
I'm just concerned.
I like how she just stops.
Well, to be fair, Kevin, it was midway through his
fine.
sentence, Kevin was like, what? Okay, hold on. Couldn't be more distracting.
Your car's being towed.
Couldn't be more distracting. Now,
thought it
granted,
was.
I'll give it to Kevin because he's getting married this
Like
week.
your whole family died.
Your whole family got died.
It's like, young Sheldon's been renewed. Greg.
My God, sorry. Can you give it to us one more time?
Okay, so
What's your
Margot
topic?
Robbie recently did an interview where she said that at the
Fan
time.
theory, that's the other one.
Oh, you want me to do
We
fan
wanna do
theories?
fan
Sorry,
theories first.
my brain
I'm sorry.
broke. I was worried about Greg.
No, it's
I was concerned.
I love fan theories, good or bad, proven or disproven, and so I love talking about them. I love I'm in the fan theory subreddit all the time and just sifting through trash upon trash. And so I was wondering what all of your kind of favorite fan theories are.
Love it.
And I don't know if it was Tim or Andy said maybe we come, or maybe you even said come up with some of our own.
think it was
fan
Nick.
theories.
I want to start fan theorizing
See, the
about Fast and
problem with
Furious.
I mean, I feel like we should say that for the end of the topic.
Yeah, let's do that.
Here's my first.
Here's
my first theory. At some point, Jason Statham and The Rock, it'll come out that they're related.
Right,
They're
yeah.
But
brothers.
it's like, this isn't
The
a
Rock-
fan theory. That's just like saying
That's wishful
something.
thinking.
This
Fan theory
has
requires like a seed.
this
Like,
has
it
as
requires-
much
Clues.
merit as 90% of the fan theories on the internet.
No,
90%.
It doesn't have merit.
Let's go
You
through them.
just
Let's
say
go through
this-
some of your
What are the-
favorites, and
what are
I'll
the
tell
clu-
you.
What are the clues? What are the?
They're
needs
both
to be a
bald.
clue.
They both fight. Okay. They actually, aside
he's got a point.
aside from the fact that they should hate each other, they still have to love each other, and that's what brothers do.
But they've already like established he has a family, and they've already.
They
talked
both
about
have
the
British
We
Rock.
haven't
accents.
seen the Rock's family yet.
That is true.
Haven't seen the Rock's family. Why haven't we seen the Rock's family?
These are the real questions.
They're
that we
both
have.
black men
True story.
or Polynesian.
I don't think Jason Statham is, but I think he's super British.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not that you can't be British and black at the same time, but I'm pretty sure he's white as fucking milk.
There's a boxer named Lennox Lewis,
Sure.
Yeah.
and so he's a black man. And I was
Yeah.
very young when he
Where
was
are you going
boxing,
with this?
but he has he's very English.
Yeah.
and I
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, how is that possible?
Yeah.
I didn't know that
Yeah.
as a kid.
When you're
Wow.
a dumb little kid, things happen. I've told this story before, but Michael Jackson confused the living fuck out of
he
me growing
confused
up.
everyone.
When I was like under 10, I was like, okay, so Michael Jackson is a white woman. Like I was convinced it was a white woman based on the music videos from the early 90s. But then I saw videos of him and he was like a little black
Like
boy.
Thriller, right?
And I'm like, this doesn't
Or
make
Jackson
sense.
5, Michael Jackson.
And so it's like there was so much going on, but then I found out it's like, oh no, that's just how things go. And
That's your fan
he was
theory.
never a woman. But I thought he was a woman.
Yeah, I think as a child sometimes you can't understand motivation. So you with Michael Jackson. I guess for me too, I was almost like, I don't know how he got from A to B.
Yeah.
But then as an adult, you're
There's
like,
a
okay,
30-minute frame in the middle that was deleted. We need to find out what happened.
he had
That's what keeps me
vitiligo.
up at
And
night.
To be fair, I don't
you
think
know.
anyone will ever 100% understand Michael Jackson's motivation.
It's like Sammy
Anything he
Sosa.
did.
Sammy Sosa dyes his hair or dyes his skin white. He's had skin bleaching.
Well, didn't
Does he?
Michael Jackson
Sammy Sosa.
had like vitiligo,
confirmed?
right?
I know that Sammy Sosa does not for sure.
Well, yeah.
Well, Michael Jackson claimed to have that, whatever that thing was.
I thought that the autopsy did establish. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't really follow
Maybe
him.
that's
I
your
just know
fan
that at a
theory,
certain
Tweet
point.
at me. Let me
Well,
know.
that's the thing, like with all the skin conditions and things like that, it's like when you don't understand that, like it affects the people that have it, and it affects the people that are close to them because they are, educated on that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't fucking know any of that stuff. Like Gia's dad definitively looks black. If you and she looks just like me,
Yeah.
but her dad like looks like a black man, and you wouldn't ever know. And I don't understand why.
That's like James's dad is from
Is he black?
Curacao, and
No,
and he has like some siblings that are like so like their skin is so dark compared to his. And it's like so weird. It's like how? Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
We're a big melting
We're
pot.
a big melting.
Well, but see,
pot.
Michael Jackson's a perfect
Mosaic.
place to bring it back to the topic because
Oh,
there
yeah,
were so
sorry.
many different theories about what was going on with that guy, right? That you never really knew, but it was always fascinating for people to think about. You're like, what's
Is
going on
he
with Michael?
bad or is he not bad?
Well, first off, let me just set the record straight on this. Michael Jackson was in fact bad. He was fucking bad.
Yeah.
And I don't care what anyone says about the man as a person, but his music and his performance, next level shit. Know what I'm talking about?
I thought you were saying he's
Yeah.
definitively bad.
No, he was a bad motherfucker. I don't know if he was like a bad person. I just mean bad as in like who's bad? Michael Jackson was bad.
he knew it.
Thanks, Elyse.
There's a lot of the thing about fan theories. I'm with you. I absolutely love them. I didn't know there was
You
a
love
subreddit
it. You
for it.
love
Yeah,
fan
I'm all
theories.
about that stuff. My favorite one has to be the Pixar world,
Disney
universe,
World,
where it's
like
like
the
they're
whole thing
all
is
in the
connected.
same universe. I'm like,
Is
I
that-
love how many little things like make it make sense. There are a couple things that when you look at it, you're like, all right, it obviously isn't real. Then there's a lot of Disney ones because
Yeah.
they kind of have their universe
Yeah.
going. There's some that I'm like, I don't even count them as fan theories because it's like so obvious that it is.
The,
Like what?
Like the
old-
genie
Yeah, the
in
genie
Aladdin.
being that kind of got confirmed a little bit. I
But
think,
like
right?
I feel like
What was it?
What was the genie's
the
what?
dude in the
old person
beginning
or-
of Aladdin that's like on the camel, the shopkeeper,
Yeah.
that's telling the story. It's the genie,
Yeah.
and it's like even when I was a dumb little kid, I knew that because it's the same voice and he kind of looked like the same facial hair and shit. And then also when you
I
watch
didn't know that.
Aladdin 2 and
You just
3,
blew my mind.
He ends 3. Like it's like it all wraps up together and even kind of like references.
That's probably where I went wrong. I didn't watch anything past Aladdin 1.
that is where you went wrong
Because
never shit on Return of Jafar.
I'm not fucking with Return of Jafar. I'm just saying when my only access
King
to the
of
Disney
Thieves.
movie back in the day was the really big puffy VHS case.
Oh, me
nah,
too.
I'm good. I don't want that. I need to see it in the theaters, son.
Were they
in the
puffy
theaters?
because
You could
children
bite
were
on them?
manhandling them?
Disney
so
just
they
had
wanted
this
to be
thing they did where
protective?
all of their animated movies were like in these big white puffy VHS cases.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's because kids chew on them.
Because they chew on
No,
them.
you
Kids
know
chew
what?
on
No,
everything.
you're right. Yeah, because I remember having
I
several.
remember I
chewed
nod
ones.
on these motherfuckers back in
Cut my
Andy's day.
teeth
Go over to
on-
Andy's desk.
on
He's got
Lady
Little Mermaid.
Tramp.
It's all fucking not
My
on.
source is that it was me.
The Pixar theory is great, and being able to arrange those chronologically and say like, oh, this is Bug's life was the repopulation of the Earth after Wall-E, whatever. I love that. There are like microcosm theories that like Jessie from Toy Story 2 was like Andy's mom's doll,
and it's great though because there's so much evidence that you're like, wait a minute, this is fucking.
But do
nuts.
we feel like that's a fan theory or that's just backstory that has come out?
Is it just
like
deducing?
Well, yeah.
what
Is
might
it
be
just like
implied?
okay, these are just things that people did, but
it's-
there's not some overarching like conspiracy to make them connected. It's just the guys at Disney and Pixar are really good at fleshing out their characters.
Well, because they'll do that even in multi movies, like
Yeah,
Bug's
but-
Life comparing to Toy Story that are totally separate
Right.
universes.
Right.
But then there'll be things where it's like the pizza delivery truck from Toy
Pizza
Story
Planet and-
is
or Pizza
all is
Planet?
like
No, yeah.
Pizza Planet
Planet, right?
is all fucked up and
Yeah.
dilapidated in
Wall-E
in
or
Wall-E
whatever.
and things like that. Where
I
it's like
guess that makes
you can
sense.
kind of create a timeline when you look at it.
Interesting.
Or like the theory gets really off the wall and it's like it goes from being like, oh man, this has to be true, to then it reaches a point of like the machines take over and that's why cars exist.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Interesting.
there's around that
Yeah.
point that I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I like it.
I think the best fan theories are the ones where there's actually like contextual clues that the creator is piecing together to say This is not just someone that goes like, oh, so and so exists in the same universe, because the character has the same name, but it's like, well, that's just a little lame. But when you can actually deduce and identify clues, similarities, threads. That's
well,
what
yeah,
I
mean, but I love that, and I love when those fan theories become reality, right?
Oh,
like one of the
yeah.
bigger fan theories that, not necessarily fan theories, we kind of knew it, but like they confirmed it evidently in the last couple of days with Spider-Man: Homecoming and Miles Morales being in the universe. Like we knew.
Well, that wasn't even fan. I mean, he was.
Well, that's the uncle, but we never really.
I thought you were talking about Tarantino.
What's that?
I think you're talking about the Tarantino universe. How like it's all in the same universe.
World. I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
Is that supposed to be the thing? Well,
That's a fan
I know.
theory.
Well, those are all tied
thought
together with the green apple cigarettes, right? Every time someone orders cigarettes or is smoking something, they have the same products, and I think that's what ties that world together. So that makes sense. Are you familiar with that? Like, remember, so in Pulp Fiction, when he walks up to the bar and he's like, pack of smokes, he like. Every time anyone smokes, apparently in the Tarantino world, they're a specific brand of cigarette that doesn't exist. So it's a fictitious brand of cigarette, and so apparently that's supposed to tie everything together. I could be totally making this up, but I'm pretty sure it's green apple cigarettes.
No,
is what
yeah,
they're
I'm
called.
pretty. So like,
Oh, by the way, like
in Pulp Fiction, when they are at the diner, when him and Mia Wallace are at the diner, and they're talking about the movie that she made and the kung fu movie that she made, and every character that she talks about are the bosses in Kill Bill.
Mm-hmm.
So she talks about like so and so was good with explosives, and so was good.
fuck, I never put that together.
They were
Yeah,
all
well,
the women from Kill
The,
Bill.
the
Holy
crux
shit.
of the Tarantino universe is that the universe is obsessed
I'm a
with
terrible fan.
The universe is obsessed with film because Hitler died in a movie theater in Inglourious Bastards. In that parallel or alternate timeline, Hitler's killed in a movie theater.
What?
Yeah, you've seen
No,
Inglourious
I've seen Inglourious Bastards, but you guys are blowing my mind right now.
So in that theory, then, in his alternate universe, that's why everybody knows movies, and that's why in Kill Bill they in Pulp Fiction they reference movies all the time. Kill Bill is a movie a movie within the universe. Like
Interesting.
that's
So Kill Bill is supposed to not necessarily have happened in the Tarantino universe. It's supposed to be a
It's
movie that was made
that
people can reference in the Tarantino in that universe.
Yeah, that's supposed to be like, oh well, this is why.
You are blowing my mind.
I love it. I love the Jar Jar Binks as a Sith is like.
What is this? You explained this to me over lunch, and I'm like, how can anyone draw that parallel? Is there anything to back that up at all?
I don't remember the exact like points of the.
We can Google it.
Yeah,
one's
we
this?
should-
The Jar Jar Binks
Binks
is secretly a Sith character.
There's a full story online where like it goes through piece by piece of every single action he does and like
Yeah,
how
just-
it could have reacted, like why the whole story happens. And
I bet
it's
you
like,
people listening to this are like really mad right now.
I know they're probably so mad.
We can bring up the chat. By the way, if you want to watch this live as we do it, you can support us on Patreon.
While you were gone, we were talking about the Tarantino universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That's shared universe.
That's,
That one I can
by the
buy.
way, I love one of the things I love doing is reading IMDb trivia as I'm watching whatever movie, because I've seen Pulp Fiction so many times, and I found some things in there I was like, I can't fucking believe I didn't know that. Like, for instance, do you guys remember how that whole monologue that Vincent Vega has about someone keying his car, and he's like, I wish I knew who that motherfucker was. Supposedly it was supposed to be Bruce Willis's character
Oh,
really?
because he was a dick to him in the bar, and Bruce Willis leaves and apparently keys his car.
Oh.
Actually, that's great. For me, my favorite thing for fan theories is video games, because there's so many that it's like, wow, this is so crazy that it could totally work. Like Mario 3 being a play.
Oh, yeah. That was confirmed, though, yeah.
Well, I mean, was it? Like, it's
think it
kind of a
was.
weird
Was
loose
it?
thing, but like, because the
Because it looks like a stage.
The opening menu is the curtains
Yeah.
open, and then every single level, like every platform or whatever, is held up like
By
as
wires
It
and
looks
stuff,
like it's a stage,
like a piece of
Yeah.
scenery.
and even the border of the game looks like it's like a bunch of flats. And
But can you
in all
have-
the levels that you can like hold down and go behind the
You
thing?
can kill
'cause you're-
Lincoln in it too.
You can
Oh,
kill
because you're
Lincoln.
going
Yeah.
backstage.
I-
You're going
You're
backstage.
behind. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I didn't realize that.
That
It's
was
cool.
confirmed.
I think so. I thought I heard that too.
Well, I'm
recently,
sure
a couple
I'm
months
sure
ago.
like, and then this is where this gets into murky territory, right? Because I bet if you asked the art director of that game, he was like, yeah, that was our idea behind it. It's not necessarily that we embrace that fully as like a storytelling device. It's just, it's cool. This is our art style and this is what we're going with,
Yeah.
right? Because like Mario's, there's so many different types of art style that they've done over
But I
the
think
years with
that the
that.
difference there is like, for example, Yoshi's Island is the art style of it is a coloring book, but that doesn't actually affect the gameplay of it and like
Sure.
things that happen. Whereas in Mario 3, it's like there are moments, and I'm blanking on some of them now, but like there are things where it's like, whoa, like that's straight up like the way that he wears the costumes is different than when he has abilities in other games because they're play costumes.
That's a really cool concept.
Yeah.
I'm
awesome.
looking at
Makes
the
me like that
top
game so much more.
theories on fan theories
Okay.
right now, like from all time.
Give it to me.
The entire movie of Aladdin was simply the fulfillment of his first wish.
Which
What
was
his
what?
first
What was
wish?
That.
I
So
wish.
they're wordy. They're
This
wordy.
is very
I remember what
wordy.
it was. It was "Don't fuck with me."
Don't fuck with that. That was number 3.
That's number 3. We did a topic a while back where it was like, "What would you wish for? What are your 3 wishes?" But we always thought like they always get you right. We're
Oh,
like,
yeah,
I
you say-
want to be taller, but all of a sudden you're like 8 feet tall and you're a fucking.
Or you're like 40 feet
It
tall
has
or
to be
something.
your first wishes have to be whatever you want, and
Third
don't
one,
fuck with me.
Don't fuck.
Not 3 more wishes?
No, you can't wish for more wishes because that's always the thing they tell you can't
Yeah.
do. The third one's always don't fuck with me.
Okay.
The best Disney fan theory, though, and the one that like I stick to being fucking true, I don't care if it's debunked or not, is the Frozen, Tarzan, Little Mermaid like situation.
I don't know the Little Mermaid. part.
Where it's like the when the mom and dad leave Elsa and Anna
Yeah.
and they take the ship and it crashes or whatever. It's the same ship that Ariel sees in Little Mermaid, and the ship crashes, they end up on an island and they're Tarzan's dad. Like they have Tarzan and then they're killed in Tarzan.
Man, Tarzan got the shit out of that stick, didn't he?
Tarzan's their brother.
He's so
Yeah.
hairless.
So Tarzan's.
Elsa and Anna's brother.
Wow.
The Link being dead in Majora's Mask is a
So
oldie,
funny.
oldie and
right.
a goodie.
I remember that
so
one.
my favorite fan theory of all time, Pokemon Red and Blue, when you get to Lavender Town, this has been debunked. The fucking music, it's been debunked. But when you go up the tower, you fight your rival, and he was talking about how he's there to mourn the death of one of his Pokemon, and he'd had a Rattata that turned into Eradicate throughout the game, and he no longer has Raticate in his party, and it's just like, holy shit. Yeah, is he mourning the death of his Raticate? And then for the rest of the game, he doesn't have Eradicate.
He poisoned it.
Poison.
He cooked it into a
Fucking
stew.
dick.
Yeah.
What a
Put it-
dick.
Andy, what are the top ones right now? Read through those.
I'm
for
looking
me.
through them. I mean, they're very, very wordy.
Doesn't matter. Just top level them for me.
Let's see. In Predator 1987, the first one, the alien tries each man's masculinity. Each man who dies does so in a manner befitting to his swagger.
Yeah, but that's not a fan theory. That's just story.
very-
That's just storytelling.
I
This is
mean-
what happened in the movie.
Game of Thrones is ripe for theories
and
that like
Star
that like
Wars.
the fate of the Stark's wolves dictates the fate of the Stark children.
Interesting, right?
and
But again,
interesting.
but I don't know if that's necessarily like. So that's the thing. I don't know if there's necessarily like something in the workings happening behind the scenes, or if
Exactly.
that's just a good storytelling device of like
the thing is, I
foreshadowing.
think it's a fan theory when you're predicting it seasons in advance, right? Once then it happens, it's no longer a fan theory.
Sure.
So like Jon Snow and Daenerys being related, and R plus J or whatever the fuck it was equals elemental P.
you know nothing, Jon Snow.
That
Oh, I know something.
that was a fan theory until it happened,
Fair.
right?
There's some silly ass shit on here.
Let me hear it, brother. Kick it over. to me.
But this one requires a lot of photos. It's not going to make sense, but just listen to the title. Just fucking take in this title for a second. The members of Smash Mouth have the same blindness/sensory powers as Daredevil, but the power is passed around between the members at random,
I
and
know
only
this
one
one.
member can have them at one time. So in their hit song All Star, one of the lines clearly admits, "My world's on fire, how about yours? That's why I like it and never get bored." One of the key tenets of Daredevil's comic Netflix series is that while Matt Murdock/Daredevil was blinded during an incident with chemicals, his other senses were heightened to the point where he can only still see. He states what he sees as a world on fire. And so they have different photos of the band where like one
One
of
of them's
them
wearing sunglasses.
Yeah.
yeah, I know this one.
It's so silly.
Stupid.
That is the dumbest
But
thing
it's
I've
like
heard
one
in
of
a
the
long
top
time.
rated.
What I love is like, where does someone's brain have to go to start making these
But isn't that the fun of the fan
That's what I
theories,
love.
right? Isn't it the fun of saying like, let's just see how deep down this rabbit
That's
hole
what
can
I love.
go?
The Paul is dead, which is a really, really old
What is
theory,
this?
that Paul McCartney died in the 70s or whatever.
And they just
in a
reanimated
car
him?
accident, and that the Beatles found a identical person. Joey's nodding; she knows it.
It's like the why he's not wearing shoes.
Yeah.
on the road
So like
cover.
they find someone to replace Paul, an identical. They give him some soft plastic surgery.
His back is facing the album.
Yeah, so like the infamous Abbey Road cover was the Beatles in their guilt revealing it because Paul's the corpse, so he doesn't have any shoes on, and then John, I think, is like the grave digger, and like Ringo's the priest, like, or one of them's Jesus, or John's Jesus.
Those
Like,
guys were doing way too much drugs to think that heavily about this shit back then.
the Sgt. Pepper's album cover has clues. Like, I love it. The Paul is dead theories.
But I love how they.
But see,
I love
that's
Chris
like-
Farley asking Paul that on Saturday Night Live, where he's like, "So there's a theory that you died. That was a hoax, right?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm not really dead, Chris." He's like, "Right, idiot."
Yeah, but those are like that to me gets out of the range of fan theory and more in just a fucking bold-faced conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Conspiracy theories I think go a little bit deeper because that gets into people's like
the
psychoses.
The Shining with Stanley Kubrick being guilty over the moon landing, that he helped fake it.
Oh,
fake it.
right. I remember that one.
That's conspiracy
That's
theory.
definitely conspiracy theory, right? But I mean, that's it, and it blows my mind that people are still arguing about that to this day. It blows my mind that like people that I follow a guy named Eddie Bravo, and I love him. He has done amazing things for the sport of jiu-jitsu and mixed martial arts, but he is a fucking conspiracy nut and will not shut up about how we faked the moon landing. He will not shut up about how we've never been to space and how, like, I don't think he's a flat earther, but he's close to that. And I'm like, I just don't get it. Like, how much proof do you need, right? And they have like all this telescopic evidence that like all the pictures were faked because they wouldn't have looked like this, and you're like, dude, how do you? I don't know. Like, what causes people to do that?
My brother
It's
was
obsession.
obsessed with JFK for a couple of years.
Oh,
and it
no.
made no sense because he was like 8 years old.
That's
Go
one of
play
those
some Legos, dog. What are you doing?
That's one of those that I don't think we'll ever have the full story for,
Yeah.
right? I mean, there's a lot of evidence there that you're like, there's some weird shit that happened there, as far as like the bullet trajectory and how it makes sense that there were multiple shooters and yada yada yada. But
Can we
I
create
don't know,
a fan
man. I'm like,
theory
I feel
for
like there's
cereal?
a fucking live stream of a dude up in space right now. Like, we went to space. We're in space.
We saw a
currently.
guy jump down.
Yeah,
all the way.
The whole way. And people are like, oh, you can fake that with CG. Like, my favorite is like when they'll like make CG that looks really, really real, and so they'll be like, see, it's perfectly real. And I'm like, yeah, but you could not have done that in the 60s. Like, it just wouldn't have, they didn't have the technology back then.
Yeah.
And people swear they did. And I'll never know, but I also just don't care enough.
You
to
showed
give a
me
fuck.
one that reminded me of two Pokemon fan theories that I love. I was real deep in the Pokemon fan theories. You'd be surprised. But one of them is that Giovanni is Ash's dad, and it like totally makes sense. But the more
gym leader.
Yeah, but the more interesting one is that Pokemon Red and Blue, at least, take place after a crazy ass war happened that pretty much every man had to be involved in. So they all die. And there's a bunch of hints, like Lieutenant Surge, who's the third gym leader, was a fucking soldier in the war. And there's like a bunch of hints throughout the game that make it sound like this should happen with the whole Mewtwo conspiracy and all that stuff on Cinnabar Island. And that's why there's so few kids. That's why kids are going out as like 10-year-olds. Just fucking travel the world alone, and like there's no dads anymore. Like it's
Damn,
only moms.
that is fucking
like
dark
pretty much in
as
Pokemon, it's only
shit.
moms and kids.
Oh fuck!
That is really
It's
dark.
a reverse
Yeah.
Mars needs mom scenario.
It's super cool.
Mars
Earth
needs
needs
moms.
Earth needs dads.
Oh my god, I forgot about that movie.
No, you didn't forget about that movie,
we end the
Andy. You
topic
just never
there?
saw that movie.
Oh, we didn't talk about the Full House Joey being the dad.
Oh, no, give it, lay
No,
that one on
there's
people.
so fucking many
Cool,
of
Greg.
them. I could go
Can
on
you
all
grab me my
day.
cup?
End it
Kombucha?
with the Full House one. Let's
Okay,
do
well,
that.
the
One of them?
Full
Just the
House
darker one, the
one is one I
Macaberry,
saw
whatever it's called.
recently. Because some of them are oldies and goodies. This is a new one for me, but that there's no way Danny Tanner could be the father.
Danny Tanner, which one was Danny? Danny was the
dad.
Bob Saget.
Bob Saget,
Yeah,
okay.
he's the dad of
Couldn't be the father of
girls.
all the blonde girls.
just in terms of how genetics work.
Okay, explain this to me.
passing down eye color, etc. Because the girl's mother is Jesse Katsopoulos' sister, Greek.
Who is
You know,
Greek,
you assume
black
that
hair.
she's darker featured like
Sure.
him. And you know,
So you think the recessive genes would have made at least one of those kids brunette?
yeah, or
Thank you,
the blonde. I mean, this is not my theory. This is just the theory.
No, it's
that's
your
been-
theory now. We're
No,
calling
no,
this
no,
the
no,
Elyse
no, no,
Willems
no, no, no.
theory.
It's been presented to me that
This is the
those
Willems
children
theory.
could not have been, blue-eyed.
Yeah.
is the theory that so the what is presented in the theory is that Joey, Joe Gladstone,
Cut it out.
cut it out.
Yeah.
He is the actual father.
If I found out after all these years that Joey was the father of my children, I would break a bottle and kill everyone in the room. I'll be honest with you. I couldn't handle it. I'd be like, not this, anyone. If John Stamos?
You'd rather Bob Saget?
You rather
No.
incest.
If I were Bob Saget, I would be like,
gotcha,
I would have rather
gotcha.
the incest of, you're right, I didn't realize that, but I still would have rather John Stamos father my children than fucking cut it out. What's the deal? That was Seinfeld, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I went into Seinfeld.
Yeah, he would
That's a
always do
whole-
puppets.
We need to talk about Seinfeld maybe next week.
Did you watch it?
I'm halfway done.
What do you think?
I do not like it.
I can understand why you wouldn't.
Doesn't
I
age.
think maybe his comedy is not as relevant.
No, it's always been like that. That's just Jerry Seinfeld's comedy.
The
It's
special, I think it's very poorly put together.
Do you want that to be the next topic? We could talk about that.
I haven't seen it.
The next topic's we're supposed to go into the next topic, which
finished
was
it.
going to be Muppets and Puppets.
Let's do that.
But we can. I'd love to talk about Seinfeld with you at some point.
I don't think we've watched it.
Maybe next time.
Yeah.
we can
It's
Dibble
again, it's
dabble.
another one of those Netflix specials that's going to be relevant for a very long time.
Yeah.
So, but I'd like to hear your opinion on it.
Thanks for watching the Game Over Greggy show, everybody. Click here to subscribe to the channel. Click here to check out our Patreon. Click here for a playlist of previous episodes. And click down here for whatever cool Greg wants to put there. I hope it's cool. I know it will be.